Hey everyone, this one is a bit of a different video, but maybe not that different, but today I wanted to talk about my history with my favorite video game series of all time, Sonic the Hedgehog. I mean, I like it for more than the video games, but that's pretty much where I like him the most. I mean, that's where a lot of people like him the most, is in the video games, but you know what I mean. Now, today I'm going to be talking about, like, where I started with the franchise and stuff, and all the games, and some of the, like, mostly I'll be talking about the games, but some of it will be about, like, TV shows and the comics and all that stuff. So, my history doesn't really start with a video game per se, rather it starts out with one of those little bubble games. I think they were like Sonic 3D Blast themed or Sonic Adventure themed, I don't remember for sure, but I started pretty late in the franchise's history. Well, I mean, it was less than a decade old when I found out about them, but you know. Of course, at the time, I wasn't really interested in playing the games. I didn't really know much about them. I just knew about those bubble games. I was like, this is kind of a fun little toy. I remember even asking my dad, I was like, you know, what, just a little kid question, like, you know, what is Sonic? And my dad's like, oh, he's a hedgehog. And that was a very, very engaging story right there that I'm glad I shared with everyone. No, but really, my very first video game of Sonic the Hedgehog was in 2002 with Sonic Advance. That may have been one of my very first games. Well, okay, it wasn't, but like it was one of my early games that I actually got the year that it came out. Most games I got were like 1 or 2 years later. Anyway, the reason I even got interested in the game in the first place was because I remember watching a friend of mine play it, and I was like, huh, that's pretty good. Like, I only watched maybe like a minute or two of it, and I was engaged and really wanted to try the game out. So, my very first Sonic the Hedgehog game was a 2D game. It was just technically quote-unquote modern Sonic. That'll be important for later if I remember to bring that up later. But anyway, yeah, I actually really liked the game. I wasn't like really into it, but I was just like, you know, this is pretty fun. It was a bit hard for me. Of course, the only character I beat the game with at the time was Tails, because that was basically easy mode. So, but yeah, like, I used, I think the very first character I actually used when I first started up, though, was Knuckles, thinking that it was Shadow, thinking that Shadow was evil Sonic, or whatever I thought of him as, because I didn't pay attention to any kind of details. This is before I really read anything, so I didn't look at the character names as much. So I thought, well, this is evil Sonic, but he's red for some reason. But yeah, I really enjoyed that game, and I wanted to get the sequel, Sonic Advance 2. Now, before that, I was a much bigger Frogger fan at the time, so anything Frogger that came out, I felt like I had to get it. So, I had a choice between Sonic Advance 2 and Frogger's Adventures 2, so I went with the latter. You know, at the time, like I said, I was a bigger Frogger fan, but I was really engaged with Sonic. It's just that I wasn't, like, a huge fan yet. So, I got that instead, but eventually I did get Sonic Advance 2. I think Sonic Advance 2 was what really got me into Sonic, or at least around that time. I remember the game being pretty hard, and in a way it kind of is, and especially whenever you try to get all the Chaos Emeralds. I'm not doing that unless I get really bored one day and just decide to hate myself and try to get all those. But anyway, I really like Sonic Advance 2, so eventually I was like, man, I gotta get more Sonic things. Now, my mind may be a little clouded, and, you know, I'm not going to get every single thing right with all the details, but I think it was around 2003 or 2004 is when I really started looking up more history on Sonic. Like, I remember, like, finding out about the old Sonic cartoons, like Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog and Sonic Sat AM, which the latter is the one I first watched, and I was like, man, this is awesome. I didn't see it on TV because I was too young at the time to really know about it, but I remember renting the VHS from Hollywood Video. For those of you kids who don't really listen to us millennials talk over and over about, you know, the past, that was basically our DVDs at the time. Anyway, so yeah, that's how I watched it, and I thought it was pretty. I mean, you could definitely tell that the VHS was watched a lot because it was kind of messed up, so I didn't always know the opening theme all that much. I only saw like maybe the last half of it, but yeah, it was pretty good. I enjoyed the show. It was cheesy. Even as a kid, I could tell it was cheesy, but I still enjoyed it. And I remember shortly after, we rented more tapes of Sonic Sat AM, and then eventually Sonic, or Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog, which I remember being like, man, this is quite different than what I was expecting. But before I get too much into that, and before I explain my history with Sonic X, I do remember also getting like Sonic Battle around 2004. That's when it came out, and then eventually Sonic Advance 3. I mean, I was Sonic crazy back then, so I mean, I'm still a big fan, but you know what I mean. Like, I was trying to get everything Sonic. Well, around this time we had a PS2. You know, it was my family's PS2. It wasn't just my PS2. And I remember we got it because it could play DVDs. Well, like a couple months before Christmas, I was like, these Sonic games are on GameCube, and I'm really into Sonic, so Mom and Dad, can we get a GameCube instead? But everyone else wanted the PS2, so even when the PC could play DVDs, I remember that being like, oh, okay, we'll get a GameCube instead, and all my family was like, no, we're not doing that, because I would talk about that a lot. But I was glad we got the PS2, because, you know, there's a lot of good games on it. But anyway, so shortly after, my 10th birthday was in February of 2004, and around that time is when Sonic Heroes came out on PS2 and Xbox, and I think about a month earlier it came out on GameCube, but obviously we had a PS2 at the time, so it was just like, okay, I'll get this I want this for my birthday on Sonic Heroes on PS2. So when I got it, that was my very first 3D Sonic game, the PS2 version of Sonic Heroes, and for those of you who don't know, that is definitely the least favorite version of Sonic Heroes, like even mine. And I remember being really excited to play it. I put it in, and tried to start up the game, then I tried again to start up the game, then I tried again to start up the game, because for some odd reason, they didn't translate the American controls in the US from the Japanese version of this game, because in Japan, a lot of things are selected with circle, or I think circle or square or something, whereas in the US it's usually with X. And so I kept pressing X. I didn't think to press start, I just thought to press X, and I was like, why? Why is this happening? And I just pressed start, and I hit start on everything. Eventually I learned that you had to press circle to select things. But yeah, that was confusing. That was a really confusing time, but luckily I was still able to enjoy the game. I didn't let that little thing, you know, sour my my wanting to play the game. And even though I was playing the game on PS2, I still really enjoyed it, and I was able to get through the whole thing. I didn't do all like the time attack stuff, but I did get all the Chaos Emeralds eventually. And I remember before I could do all that, though, I had to start over in the game, because at some point I guess I turned it off when it was trying to save, and it caused corrupted data, so I couldn't play that account anymore. I can't remember if I beat all the teams, but I never got all the Chaos Emeralds, and that corrupted data is actually just permanently on the memory card. I can possibly even show a picture here. I don't know if I will. I don't know if I'm going to be, you know, lazy with this or not, but yeah, that's still there. But yeah, I started a new account, and eventually with all the dedicated work, I was able to get all the Chaos Emeralds, beat the game with all the teams. So yeah, I beat the game, and I remember sometime later I got the GameCube copy of Sonic Heroes. I'm getting a little ahead of myself, but long story short, I got the GameCube copy, and it was hard to go back to the PS2 copy because it's almost like night and day with the quality. But anyway, going back into the year 2004, I was pretty much Sonic crazy, and but it was gonna be like almost the entire year before I could get any more Sonic things, because the only thing that was on PS2 at the time that I had Sonic Heroes was Sonic Heroes on the PS2, and then like otherwise there's like the Game Boy Advance games, and I don't remember when we got a Sega Genesis, but it was much later on, and I think around this time is when I learned that there was a Sega Genesis. I didn't know exactly when Sonic started. This is before we had really good access to the internet, so I couldn't look up a whole bunch of info. I had to let my brother and my little cousins younger than me, tell me about Sonic the Hedgehog on Genesis and like other Sega systems. Now, given that I was still just 10 years old and I'm an autistic kid, not that that would have a big impact on this, but it might have something to do with this. But I was still into collecting toys, and Sonic toys were a bit hard to come by around that time. So I remember it was like, I think it was during summer, me and my family went somewhere, and we went to a Toys R Us outlet store, and we eventually found some Sonic toys. Like I had like my first Sonic toy was a Knuckles. I think it was based on Sonic X, but it was like little figures and stuff. And my brother got Tails, and I think eventually during that trip we also got like a Sonic and Big the Cat, and I think also Eggman. So yeah, that was interesting. So I started collecting not the video games, but accessories, or well, not accessories, but merchandise. And this could have also been in 2003, but I remember in late 2004 there was also the McDonald's little McDonald's games. I can't remember what they're called. Like the thing that's like Game & Watch, like the little Tiger Electronic type things, except they were even cheaper because they came in McDonald's Happy Meals, and that helped me. So basically, in 2004, I was satisfied with mostly satisfied with getting Sonic merchandise, and even though I didn't have that many games, I had toys and I had other things to look forward to. I think it was also 2004 when I learned about Sonic X, and I remember liking the cartoon whenever I was able to watch it. I don't remember if I actually loved it, but I was able to get into watching it time to time. So overall, while 2003 is when I became a Sonic fan, 2004 was when I really became a big Sonic fan. I mean, like, I was trying to get everything, as I was describing. I remember, this may be a little embarrassing, but I'm going to tell it because it's the truth. I remember, because Sonic toys were still a bit hard to come by, at least in the area I lived in, whenever I saw a Sonic plush in a one of those toy grabbing machines, I don't know why I can't think of the name right now, claw machine, whatever it's called, and when I saw that, I was like, I really need it. It's right here. I gotta get it. And I spent maybe like $3 to $5 worth of quarters to try and get that thing, and I just couldn't get it. Of course I started crying because I was still a kid, but like this is still in 2004, I think, but I was so desperate to get it, and when I couldn't get it, I just couldn't stop crying. Well, okay, I stopped crying, but you know what I mean. Like I didn't think about how it would be embarrassing to be in the store and, being like, having all this stuff. There's a wasp right now doing something on my window. It looks kind of gross, but I'm going to go ahead and stop this. Okay, I'm back. Anyway, so that Christmas, we had access to the internet. Obviously, it isn't quite, being able to watch a bunch of videos good yet, but when we had it, we still had access to things like eBay. So, of course, my family tried to get me a Sonic toy there, but then I saw there were more options, and I was like, oh, I think I want Shadow instead, because Shadow really appealed to me. I mean, obviously, he's the second most popular character in the whole franchise, so obviously, he would appeal to me too. But that Christmas of 2004, I got so many things Sonic. Not everything I got was Sonic related, but most of my big gifts were of Sonic things. Now, before that, I actually got Sonic Mega Collection Plus on PS2, which I had learned was a thing. But not too long after that, I also got Sonic Mega Collection on GameCube, because we got a GameCube, so obviously I had access to more things Sonic. So I got Sonic DX on GameCube. I think my brother got Sonic Adventure 2 Battle, which is mine now. But we also got Sonic Mega Collection, which is kind of a lesser version of Sonic Mega Collection Plus, but it was still pretty cool to see. And it was pretty good. I also got a couple of Sonic DVDs, something like Sonic Underground, it was a Sonic movie. The original, well, it's in Japan it's 2 OVAs, but here in the US it's like both of those combined and it's made into a movie. So that was the original Sonic movie. But anyway, I got that, which apparently is really rare now, and I got a lot of things Sonic. It was a good Christmas for me. I know it sounds like I was spoiled as a kid, and for the first few years of my life I kind of was, but luckily my parents also taught me not to act spoiled, so later on in life I didn't act as spoiled. So, I mean, I was a little kid and I was autistic. Of course I was going to get upset when I couldn't get certain things or when certain things didn't go my way, but, you know, I was able to turn out better than that. So by 2005, I was pretty much Sonic crazy. I mean, well, I have been throughout 2004, but going into 2005, I was still really into Sonic. Not that Sonic was the only thing I would ever talk about. I mean, it was a lot of what I talked about, but it wasn't the only thing I talked about. I liked other things as well. But later on in 2005, I remember learning about Shadow the Hedgehog, the announcement. My friend who I watched play Sonic Advance, which is what got me into it, he told me about Shadow the Hedgehog, and at first I didn't believe him. I was like, this is too good to be true. I mean, like, because he's talking about Shadow using guns and stuff, and I was like, that's probably not true. And I tried looking it up online, I couldn't really find anything, but also I didn't like look in the right areas. And I was like, he's probably making this up. It sounds too good for my little mind for it to be true. And then the next day he showed me the magazine in which he showed me Shadow the Hedgehog, like the previews for it. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is a dream come true. At the time, it felt like a dream come true. So I remember throughout 2005, or at least summer of 2005, I was like, man, game, please come along, please come out sometime soon. Why won't you come out soon? And I remember looking at like Sonic Heroes or at least Sonic Adventure 2 and being like, you know, Shadow only has so few levels. Why does he get a few levels when Sonic gets more levels? And obviously ignoring the fact that Sonic is literally the main character. So yeah, like I was really anticipating it. Now you might be wondering why I was anticipating it so much. Well, not only was I into Sonic at the time, I was also into things like Ratchet & Clank. Again, another franchise that I'm still really into these days. And I was really into Ratchet & Clank, so I thought, oh my gosh, Shadow the Hedgehog is going to be like Sonic but mixed with Ratchet & Clank. This will be awesome. I really, really want to play it. So, believe it or not, eventually I found out that you could pre-order games, like order them and then, you know, get them later on. Of course you know what I'm talking about. That's just like that's a big thing these days. But anyway, that was the first time that I'd ever pre-ordered a game, was the GameCube copy of Shadow the Hedgehog. We got it from GameStop, and I should have got it from the store that I went to more, but like I think they were the only ones at the time who had pre-orders like that, so, or at least that we knew of. So I pre-ordered Shadow the Hedgehog, and yeah, I was really excited. I was like, yes, I'm gonna get it the day it comes out. But at the time, for some reason, with most Sonic games, things didn't come out, at least in my area. It wouldn't come out the day it was supposed to. It would usually come out the next day. So, of course, when I heard from my mom that when she was going to pick up the game, when it was supposed to come out November 15th, it wasn't there, I was upset. I didn't quite cry, but I was really upset. I even blamed my brother for it not coming that day because he said, what if it doesn't come out? And I was like, oh, it'll come out this day. And then, like, it didn't, and I tried to blame him for it even though he had nothing to do with it. But yeah, that kind of upset me. But luckily, the very next day, it was there, and I was excited. Now, a couple things before I get into when I first started playing the game is that, first of all, me and my siblings got allowances, allowances like maybe every month or so. I don't remember for sure how they did that, but we didn't get a whole lot. We just got enough, so I was saving up for Shadow the Hedgehog, just letting you all know that that was the case and not, you know, I asked for it, so my parents decided to just spend the money and get it. Just letting you all know that before you think that I was just too spoiled and they would just give me whatever I asked for. So, anyway, now that that's out of the way, before all that, I remember throughout the summer, I was actually trying to watch the trailers, you know, videos and stuff online, and of course, because I had like dial-up internet, it was slow as can be, so it was a miracle if I ever got the thing loaded. And it was pretty cool. Like, it was pretty cool watching all those videos whenever I actually got to watch them. And so yeah, as I would watch all the videos I could, I would look at all the images, and I would just look at all of it and just be like, man, this is so cool. And I remember anticipating that it was going to be the very first T-rated Sonic game, and I was going to be like, man, I'm only, I think I was like, what, I think I was 11 at the time, and I was like, man, I'm still a couple of years from being a teenager. I'll be playing a game that's older than, you know, that's meant for older audience than what I am, and and even though I would also play Ratchet and Clank, that was still kind of cool to me, but, you know, I was like, okay, this is going to be the very first T-rated Sonic game. And then I remember seeing people complaining that it was going to be T-rated instead of like a lower rating, and I was like, what? This is cool. And so when I first saw a commercial of the game and then it showed the E10 plus rating, I was a little disappointed. I was like, oh man, not nearly. I wasn't disappointed enough to be dreading the game now, obviously, but I remember thinking, man, I wish it was a T-rated game instead of this little kid E10 rating, because I'm 11, this older than 10. No, I don't remember exactly how I thought of it, but if I was in Europe, that would have been cool, because they got a 12 over there for all you Europeans out there. I think Shadow the Hedgehog got a 12 rating, but over here in the U.S. it got an E10 plus rating. But anyway, that was before I actually got and played the game. I know I'm taking a lot of time talking about Shadow the Hedgehog, but this was the first game that I really, really anticipated and just was so excited to get, and just watched so many things. And I do that with some games today, but this was the first time that I ever, just was ecstatic for a game. But of course, whenever I got the game and started playing it, I was really happy. I was really enjoying the game. It wasn't quite what I expected, but I actually still really enjoyed the game. And it was really awesome to see that Shadow was using various guns, or could use various guns and other types of weapons. And also to hear, the character swear for the first time, at least here in the US. That was really interesting. So it was a really good time for me. I remember being like, wow, I already beat the game, and it was just like the day I got it. But then I learned, I was like, you know what? There's different pathways. I'll just take these, and me and my brother would play it and stuff. And like, I remember the game being in the GameCube for so long that I almost forgot what the disc looked like, because I was playing it so much, and that was almost all I played throughout like the rest of the year. Now, eventually that Christmas I got Sonic Gems Collection, and I don't remember specifically what else I got for Christmas that year, but it was a decent Christmas, and got to learn a little more about Sonic's history. So yeah. In terms of Shadow the Hedgehog, obviously to this day, like even when I was playing through it for the first time, like playing through all the levels for the first time, I could tell that it wasn't quite as good as I was hoping, but I still enjoyed it. And today, while it's really nothing special for me, I still actually like the game, and I still have the same copy that whenever I pre-ordered the game, I still have that same copy. Now, by 2006, things were starting to slow down a bit for my excitement for Sonic, because I don't think there was a whole lot of announcements for other Sonic games, or at least ones that I watched, because I didn't really learn too much about the new Sonic the Hedgehog, as we know it today, Sonic 06. But I was still very much a big Sonic fan, just not like, I wasn't like just crazy about it at that time. Before we move forward anymore, let's go back to 2004, the big year of Sonic for me. One of the things I was kind of collecting, back whenever I was on my Sonic craze, was Sonic comics. Like, I remember the first time we got a comic, I think it was number 124. It had more so to do with like Shadow, but I didn't read the previous one, so I didn't know exactly what happened. But anyway, the reason we got that was because we went to this comic book store, but we weren't looking for comics, we were looking for toys of Sonic, like action figures, because again, this was still before we could find any like, Sonic merchandise, So when we learned about this comic store from a friend of ours, of my family's, he was telling us that he saw some toys there of Sonic, and then we went over there, and I think they just didn't have, either they didn't have them or they were too expensive. I would say they didn't have them, because if I saw them, I probably would have went crazy and cried if I didn't get it. Being honest about my younger self. Anyway, so the guy pointed out that they had some comics, and the latest one at the time, I think, was 124. So that's what me and my brother we both got our own copies of it. So that was pretty cool. And then the comics of Sonic aren't really something that I even collect to this day. Those are more so for whenever I just feel like it, or like if it's good timing, convenient timing. I'm just like, you know what? Sure, I'll get this comic here. So I have a few. I don't really collect those much because I don't really collect books at all. But like with comics, there's way too much to collect, and some can be really expensive depending on what they are. And given that I don't really read books as much, I'm just like, that's not something I'm really into. Like, even when I was younger, I would get them when I could, but I wasn't like crazy about getting them. So that's just a little thing I wanted to mention. Anyway, going back to 2006, that was kind of a light year for me. Like I said earlier, I wasn't like crazy about Sonic. I was still a big fan. I rented Sonic Riders on GameCube, and eventually for my birthday, I got Sonic Rush. There are other details about my birthday in 2006 that I'm not going to go into because drama here and there, but not juicy drama, just some things here and there. But anyway, but that year I got a DS. I think I got the DS before my birthday, and technically my first game was Metroid Prime Hunter's First Hunt or something like that. Like, it was a demo for Metroid Prime Hunters. But my first official game was Sonic Rush, and I remember enjoying it some, but it was kind of overshadowed by what was going on around that. Like I said, I'm not going to go into detail. I mean, if I ever find a day to go into detail about it, then I will, but right now we're just talking about the history of Sonic, or my history with Sonic at least. Anyway, throughout that summer, things were a little light with Sonic. I got some other types of games and played some other types of things. I think me and my brother eventually bought Sonic Riders. And it was still the year that it came out, but it was like months later, so it was a little bit cheaper. So eventually I learned about Sonic 06. Well, that's just what I'm going to refer to it as. That's what a lot of people refer to it as. I learned about Sonic 06, and I was like, oh, this looks kind of cool. And I learned that it was not going to be on systems that I wasn't going to have. So I was like, well, shoot. I won't be able to play this right now. But then there were other things like Sega Genesis Collection, I think it was called. It came out on PS2 and PSP, which I eventually got that. Which I obviously already had access to those games through like the Mega Collection games. Like the classic Sonic games, the Genesis ones I mean. But Sega Genesis Collection only had Sonic 1 and 2. Like a lot of them have. But I still liked it because of some of the other games. And I think I also got, I don't remember what else was bought that year of Sonic. Oh yeah, Sonic the Hedgehog Genesis for Game Boy Advance. Even as a kid, I could tell something was off. I still enjoyed playing the classic Sonic game on the go, in terms of playing on GBA, and I liked that the spin dash was there. I didn't really just think too much about the fact that there was a bunch of screen crunch and lag and all that stuff, or slowdowns, whatever you call it. So, yeah, that wasn't the greatest time, but I was still young and, I was still enjoying getting things Sonic. So when 2007 came around, I was just like, I'm kind of excited for this Sonic and the Secret Rings as well, but again, I won't be able to play it on this next-gen console. Until my mom hears about, from her coworker, that the Wii was pretty good, so my mom thought, well, I think I'll get us a Wii. Because partially so that she could play it as well. So then I became really excited about Sonic and the Secret Rings. I was like, alright, I get to play this next-gen game. And I got it. eventually I got it for my birthday, and we were originally gonna wait until like spring to get the Wii, but then, like I had gotten Sonic and the Secret Rings the day it came out just so I could have it, and then wait a little while before I could play it. But then, by some miracle, because Wii's were a little hard to come by, but then the store we went to, which was more of a local, kind of a local store. It wasn't as big as something like GameStop, but an employee that I know, and I still know to this day, had told us that someone had canceled their pre-order for their Wii, and so he asked us, "Hey, what if you got a Wii today, or what if I could get you a Wii today?" Of course, I was begging my mom. I was like, "Come on, please, please, please say yes, please say yes." So then we did. I'm sure my mom was a little hesitant at first, but she's like, "Well, we're gonna get one here soon anyway, so why don't we get it now?" So then we got it, and I was playing through Sonic and Secret Rings. Thought it was pretty hard, and wasn't quite as good. even as a kid. Well, I guess I was a teen at this point, but even as a kid, I was like, it's not the greatest, but hey, it's motion controls. That's cool. So that was neat. One thing I do remember kind of fondly about Sonic and the Secret Rings was the multiplayer, which it wasn't the greatest thing. It was still pretty broken, but it was still kind of fun to play with friends and sometimes with my brother and stuff. But the game overall is mediocre, I would say, to put it nicely. It's mediocre. Despite that, though, I still have my pre-ordered copy. Like Shadow the Hedgehog, I'm still holding on to it. I think during 2007 is when I really started feeling that kind of, I guess, falling for the fact that only the Genesis games were good. Not that I actually thought that. It's just that I thought that a lot of the games during the quote-unquote dark era of Sonic, or dark ages, whatever you call it, was, they weren't good, or none of those were good, or the 3D games weren't as good, and things like that. I started kind of falling for it, so it was kind of a confusing time for me with Sonic. And I was a teenager too, so I was going through those changes as well, but that was kind of the thing for me with Sonic at the time. Of course, I was still anticipating some games, like eventually I saw that Sonic Rush Adventure was going to be a thing. I was like, you know what, I think I'll pre-order that and play some of that. And of course the game was not as good to me, but close to Christmas I eventually got a PSP, so eventually that year I had gotten both the Sonic Rivals games. I gotten the first one first, and then I want to say about a week later, with some Christmas money I got from relatives, I eventually got Sonic Rivals 2. And while I didn't enjoy those games as much as I do now, which, I mean, even now I'm not like a huge fan of those games, I liked it, and I got a bunch of PSP games. Well, not a bunch of PSP games, but by that point, by that Christmas and stuff, I had a few PSP games, so I was like occupied with that, and I hardly touched my DS. Just saying that, like, Sonic was involved in some of this. So in 2008, and a little before that, but mostly during 2008, wasn't really anticipating any Sonic games. I mean, I was a little excited about Sonic Riders Zero Gravity, but I wasn't big into the first one, so I wasn't like really trying to get that one. But what I was really trying to get was Super Smash Bros. Brawl, which I still like to this day. I don't care how many fans are mad about that. I don't care how many people hear this are like, "What? That's the worst one." In terms of single player, that's probably the best one. But anyway, Sonic was in that, so I was pretty excited. I didn't know who all was going to be in it because I didn't look up everything online, but I knew for sure that Sonic was going to be in it, so I was happy enough to get that. And of course, I had a pre-order, so I was playing it the day it came out, but I didn't actually get to play as Sonic until I unlocked him like 2 or 3 days later. Anyway, so that was pretty cool, and that occupied my time, and I think I did eventually rent Sonic Riders Zero Gravity. I didn't get it until much later on, though. But anyway, so throughout the year, there wasn't really too much about Sonic, and until I look in the magazine and see that they're making a new Sonic game, which would turn out to be Sonic Unleashed. And before that, I decided to get Sonic Chronicles, the Dark Brotherhood, I think it's called. I wasn't like super excited about that one, but I decided to get it because I was like, you know what, it looks cool. I don't really play RPGs, but maybe I can get into this one. And as we all know, the game's not really all that good. I'm sure it has its fans, but I'm not one of them. It's partially because it's an RPG, but also because the game just wasn't very good to me. So, but I did play it for a little while, and then eventually later on that year, I got Sonic Unleashed for the Wii, which at the time I was like, man, this is going to be the underpowered one, but, you know, whatever. I still get to play the game. And a lot of people were trying to say that the 360 and PS3 versions were better, which in some ways they are, but in other ways, altogether, I kind of prefer the Wii/PS2 version because, for certain reasons. If you know the games, you know what I'm talking about. But anyway, so yeah, that year was a bit light on Sonic. In general, it was light on Sonic, but I was light on getting a bunch of stuff. I was still kind of going through that phase of, oh, these games aren't as good as, you know, these older games. And let me just be brief about this, but 2008 is when I went into high school for the first time, so I was a freshman that year. And before the game came out, there was, again, some behind-the-scenes stuff that happened, and I'm sure, again, if I ever decide to describe it in the future, I'll do that. It might be a little personal, but, you know, it might be interesting, I don't know. But I guess you could say when it comes to Sonic, it was kind of my comfort area during that time. During some of these times, playing Sonic was kind of comforting. Other video games too, but it's kind of comforting at the time. So anyway, so yeah, like I got Sonic Unleashed, and I kind of enjoyed it. I didn't enjoy it as much. I mean, it's still not really my favorite Sonic game to this day, but I remember kind of enjoying the Wii version and kind of not, because again, that confusing area of Sonic, you know, the confusing time, I should say. So yeah, I thought Sonic Unleashed is decent, just not the best. Now, for Christmas of 2008, I eventually got a 360, so I was finally able to play Sonic 06. That was one of my very first games. Now, this was also before I read all the reviews on how quote-unquote bad it is. And I say that, but I definitely understand why some people don't like it. And it's not exactly my favorite Sonic game either. I can agree that it's not all that great, but I find it mediocre. So anyway, so yeah, I got to play Sonic 06, and I remember being like, man, this one's better than Unleashed because it's got like a hub world, and you know, sometimes I would focus more on the fact that it had a hub world, and I find some pieces of Sonic 06 to be better than Sonic Unleashed, but overall I think Sonic Unleashed is technically the better game. So just getting that out there, just getting that out of the way. But a few months later, okay, I don't remember exactly how many months later, but a few months later, whenever I got when it comes to Sonic Unleashed, I got the 360 version, and I played through it, and I actually enjoyed. And for a while, I was enjoying it more than the Wii version. And I also got really mad because I was like, you know, the Wii had the power to have these hub worlds, but they didn't. The 360 and PS3 versions had them, and the Wii version didn't. That's really dumb. So I was getting a little mad that like there's some things that were just so much better than the Wii version. So that was interesting. I would have more to say about the 360, about getting it. It's a little interesting, not quite as interesting as whenever I got the Wii, but it's kind of interesting. But I think I'll save that for another type of video. Now, throughout 2009, I remember my liking of Sonic, or like liking of some of the newer stuff, started picking up a little bit more, despite my disappointment with Sonic Unleashed. I was still excited for Sonic and the Black Knight, which well, I think it came in the day that it was supposed to, but my mom didn't tell me until like a day or two later. I was like, oh shoot, let's go pick that up as soon as we can. So I got that, and I kind of enjoyed it. I enjoyed it more than Sonic and the Secret Rings, but I still didn't enjoy it as much as some other Sonic games. But my liking of Sonic was my bigger fan was starting to come out again for Sonic in 2009. There wasn't really much of Sonic after Sonic and the Black Knight. There may have been a little bit, but not like a whole lot. So that wasn't a big year for Sonic, but it was significant because my liking of it started rising up again. Now when it comes to 2010, before I get into the Sonic stuff, I'm just going to be brief that it was a very mixed year for me. Mostly not good, but it was very mixed altogether. And so, Sonic was a good place to go to for whenever I was, whenever it was in a kind of a bad area there. Anyway, when it comes to Sonic games, I got Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racing on the DS for my birthday that year. That's not necessarily fully a Sonic game. It's mostly a Sonic game, but it's more so one of those Sega Superstars games, and wasn't really big into those, but I was still like, I was like, you know what? It's a racing game. I like some racing games, and it's got a lot of Sonic characters in this, so why not? And so that was like one of the only Sonic games that come out that year, or technically sort of Sonic games that come out that year for a while, until like I think it was like during the fall is when Sonic the Hedgehog 4 Episode 1 came out, and I wasn't like super excited about it, but I was like, you know what? I like the classic games. This is supposed to be like the classic games, so why not? And of course I was a little underwhelmed, but I didn't hate it, but you know how it goes. So with Sonic Colors, I was like, at that point though, I was like, with a mixture of how I was feeling that year, I was like, it's just another Sonic game, so sure, it's gonna be Sonic Colors. I don't know how good of a game with a name like that is gonna be. It's only gonna be on the Wii, so it's on this underpowered system. So I was a little underwhelmed when it came to Sonic at first. And then I saw how Sonic Colors ended up being, and I was like, you know what? Now I'm a bit excited for it. I didn't get it the day it came out. I think I got it for Christmas. And I did have it pre-ordered because I remember having the hat that came with it, whatever you call it. It's supposed to look like Sonic's spikes and like his ears in the front and stuff. And I still have that to this day, by the way. And I still have that copy of Sonic Colors. But I didn't get the game until Christmas, so that was my excuse for getting it since I didn't have like allowance saved for it, So yeah, when I first played Sonic Colors, I thought, oh, it's a return to Sonic. I was like, just joining everyone that said Sonic has finally returned to being good again, and well, not quite like being good again on my part. For me, it was like, oh, it's finally another like really great Sonic game. And these days, I find the game, it's fine. I don't think it's that great. I think it's fine. It's definitely not a bad one. I think it's more than okay, but I would say it's just good. That's how I'll say about it. That's what I'll say about it if I can get my grammar good. Now, 2011 for me personally was a really great year. It had some rocky moments here and there, but like especially during the summer, that was a really great time for me. It's one of the best summers I had, and well, it's not really all that Sonic related. I did get Sonic Colors on the DS. That was the first time I got that, and again, the game is fine. It's okay. I would say it's okay. Because I wasn't really the biggest fan of the Rush games, and that one's a lot like the Rush games. So I say that. But anyway, that was a really good year for me. But it's mostly because there was also a bunch of great games coming out that year, and at least ones that I really like. And of course, one of the last games I got to really, end the year, well, kind of end the year, close to it, with some really great stuff, is Sonic Generations. Like, that's one of my top favorite Sonic games. Not like the top, but like maybe in my top 5 favorite Sonic games. I don't know that for sure. Yeah, you could say some of it is because of my nostalgia for some of the stuff they had there. But it was a really good game altogether, and so yeah, that really gave me hope for Sonic again. So before I continue into 2012, I should probably mention something I should have mentioned a little while back. So back in like I want to say like the early mid 2000s, not like the early 2000s, but like the early years of the mid whatever you want to say. Basically the mid 2000s. That's when we actually started getting more Sega stuff. Like we technically had access to a lot of the Sega Genesis Sonic games, or pretty much all of them. But like we finally were able to play on the actual cartridges on the actual system. Like one day my brother comes home with a Sega Genesis from a friend of his, like that gave friend that gave him a Sega Genesis, and like I think Sonic 1, Sonic 2 or something, and so yeah, we were able to actually play the cartridges and stuff, and we eventually got Sonic 3 and Sonic and Knuckles and all that stuff. So that was a pretty good time. And at some point I was able to get a hold of a Sega Dreamcast, and I got Sonic Adventure. I had to get another disc for Sonic Adventure though, because that one didn't work as well. But yeah, that was a pretty good time. And at some point I got Sonic Adventure 2 as well as some other games, but like and I also did get Sonic Shuffle. I only played a little bit of that. I think the disc didn't work as well, but obviously I probably wouldn't have enjoyed my time anyway. So that was a pretty neat time. I mean, like, I hardly had any games for the Dreamcast. Like, I don't have a Dreamcast anymore because like a lot of the good games are either re-released or they're too expensive. And at some point during I want to say the mid 2010s, we had a Sega Saturn and had almost no games for it because, again, a lot of the good ones were way too expensive. Even some of the ones that are were also kind of expensive. So yeah, when it comes to the Saturn, I mean, there's not much history there for us because that was just, there was also a problem with the Saturn we had, so, But yeah, that's more or less our history with Sega systems, was, having games we already had access to, and some games we didn't have access to, but they weren't really Sonic related, so, So getting back on track, in 2012, I was really excited for the Vita, and to get that out of the way, because there's not much Sonic related to the Vita, for Christmas I was able to get Sonic and All-Stars Racing Transformed, which that's not even really a Sonic game, but if you want to stretch it, that was technically the only Sonic game on the Vita, and it was just barely a Sonic game. Not really one. It has Sonic's name in it. Anyway, and I was able to play the Rivals games on it. But anyway, so during 2012, there wasn't like a whole lot related to Sonic other than Sonic and All-Stars, but there was the re-release of Sonic Adventure 2 on PS3 and 360, which I forgot to mention in 2010. I did also get the Sonic Adventure re-release on the 360, so that was pretty cool. Those games are really amazing to me, so to play those, on a newer systems, that was pretty neat. I know a lot of people don't like the Sonic Adventure, like the original Sonic Adventure re-release on the 360 and PS3, because I can agree that they definitely were lackluster about it. It seemed like a straight port of the GameCube version with some missing features. But I still enjoy it. I still enjoy the game, like just without those features. So, and it's really cheap these days. So if you ever want to get it, it's really cheap. Anyway, so yeah, I got that, and then when I got Sonic Adventure 2, I don't know if you call it HD. I think it's just a re-release, but it is in like widescreen HD and stuff. So that was pretty cool. And Sonic the Hedgehog 4 Episode 2 came out, and I don't even think I ever beat that one. Those games are they're not all that great. But yeah, that was pretty much 2012, was a re-release of a game, and then like Sonic the Hedgehog 4 Episode 2. So there wasn't really much Sonic related there, but it was a fine year. It was the year I graduated from high school, so I was happy about that. So in 2013, that was when I got my first job. Like, it was kind of a temporary job, so it wasn't like a real job, but I still earned real money. So, but it was just temporary, basically. But my first major purchase with my job money was a Wii U, and I had like 3 games for it at the time. So one of those was Sonic and All Stars Racing Transformed. So I already had that game on the Vita, but you know, I've heard that the Wii U version is the best technically because locally you can have up to 5 players instead of just up to 4 players because of the gamepad. So, you know, that was pretty cool. So, like, basically, there wasn't really much Sonic related until the announcement of Sonic Lost World, which I was a little excited for because, like, okay, cool, a brand new Sonic game. You know, we didn't have one in 2012, or technically didn't really have one in 2012. Not like a mainline 3D one. So, I hear the announcement, I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. Looks like they're still going with the classic stuff, but you know they're having a twist to it, and it's not like just the same thing. So that's what I thought at the time. So that basically fast forwarding to around when Sonic Lost World was coming out, and I remember seeing mediocre reviews for it, and I was like, wait a minute, what? Are you seriously doing this again? And you know, for reviewers and stuff, because like I pretty much just about lost faith in reviewers at that point in reviewing Sonic games, because it's just like, you know, you don't always get things right, or your reviews are way too exaggerated, so, you know, whatever. Anyway, so then, you know, when the game comes out, like, I don't get it on Wii U at first, because, I mean, my temporary job was already done, so I didn't have much money, so that was for Christmas. But I did have the money to get the 3DS version, like to play that one. So I played the 3DS version of the game at first, and it was pretty cool to see a quote-unquote fully 3D Sonic game. I say that in quotes because there's still a few 2D or side-scrolling levels. But I see that, or I get to play for the first time, a fully 3D Sonic game on the go. Because technically, there've only been like bits and pieces of 3D Sonic on like 3D gameplay Sonic on the go here and there. It's mostly been in the racing games, but those are racing games, not, you know, traditional Sonic games. And before I forget, I also did get Sonic Generations in 2011 on the 3DS, and I'll just go ahead and say that port is fine. It does feel, it felt kind of like an afterthought, but it's fine. I'll just definitely stick with the console version. But anyway, so yeah, Sonic Lost World. I don't hate it like a lot of other people do on the 3DS, but I can agree that it's kind of underwhelming, and I would say it's just okay. And the same goes for the Wii U version, because whenever I was playing through that, I only played through, like, I guess over time I would play through some of the levels, and a lot of them started irritating me, and it's not my favorite Sonic game. I'd say that game altogether on Wii U and 3DS, it's just okay. So that was kind of a disappointing year for Sonic, but I was like, okay, you know, this is just one game. How bad could it be in the future? In 2014, there wasn't much of Sonic. I mean, I do remember seeing the tease for the new Sonic cartoon coming out on Cartoon Network, which of course would later be Sonic Boom. So when I hear more about Sonic Boom, I was like, oh cool, a new cartoon. And then I see that there are going to be a couple of games based on the cartoon. I was a little hesitant at first because I was like, you know, if they're based on the cartoon, I don't know how good they're going to be, but, you know, I'll still give them a shot. So I see more about the game, and I'm like, my expectations are kind of middling, so I didn't really have low expectations, I didn't really have high expectations. I was just like, you know, this will just be another Sonic game to play. Like, this isn't quite what I was wanting. Like, I was wanting another traditional Sonic game, but maybe this will do. And I knew about, like, Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games. I can't remember if that came out in 2013 or 14, But I wasn't really interested in playing that one. I've technically only played, basically with that game, I've technically only played it once, but the copy I got didn't work, so I never really tried it. But I was like, I'm not going to go out of my way to try and play this game that I hear isn't very good. Which again, like, not that I trust a bunch of reviewers, but like, you know, it didn't really look all that impressive or all that different from other Sonic and Mario and Sonic Olympic games. So, so basically that was my history with that. But with Sonic Boom, you know, the time rolls around and people are already hating on it. I was like, you know, that's usual, that's normal for people just to say bad things about a Sonic game because it's popular. And at this point, I was starting to really defend Sonic, and I felt like I had to defend like a lot of stuff because it's like, yeah, some of this stuff is underwhelming, but you guys are exaggerating it like way too much, which some people still do to this day. But I feel like that it's also getting a lot of love, and people are starting to realize it. You know, but anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. So, by the time the Sonic Boom cartoon comes out, that was during the first couple of episodes, which there were two 11-minute episodes, I actually was able to be up for that, and that was, I think, the only Sonic Boom episode. Like, those were the only episodes that I actually woke up around the time they premiered to watch it, and I liked it. I liked the premiere episodes. And they weren't fantastic, but they were, like, I didn't know what to expect exactly. I didn't know if it was going to be cheesy, like some of the previous Sonic cartoons. I mean, let's be honest here. I didn't know if it was going to be like that. But when I saw the focus more on humor, I was like, man, this is different, but it's pretty funny. And then I get the games about a week later, or almost a week later, whatever it was, and well, maybe it was even less than that. I think it came out like the Tuesday after that Saturday, so after the Saturday of the premiere of the Sonic cartoon and Sonic Boom, and I get both Rise of Lyric and Shattered Crystal. I was like, okay, just gonna try these out. I don't know how well I'll like them, but I'll give it a shot. And with Shattered Crystal, I didn't realize at first it was going to be a Metroidvania, and that really doesn't match Sonic very well. But altogether, the game was very boring to me. Like, it felt like a drag playing it. So like less than a week later, I got rid of that one. Sonic Boom: Rise of Lyric actually went a little above my expectations. I was like, you know what? Okay, this game is showing promise so far. This is, you know, I was like, and then I remember like writing on Twitter or somewhere being like, you know, this game is fine so far, but I can already predict that people will dislike it. Well, I didn't expect it to be considered worse than Sonic 06, which is what people had originally considered the worst Sonic game. And I was like, whoa, wait a minute, it's not nearly that bad, which I still today find that the game is not that bad, just, you know, I wouldn't call it good either. I wouldn't even call it okay, but it's not that bad. But like people pointing out all the glitches that like I really hadn't seen, and I did see a few on a normal run without trying to look for them, and some of them were kind of bad, but I didn't have the worst experience. It did get a little boring after a while, but when I got through it, I was like, you know, that was an okay experience. It wasn't a bad experience, it was an okay experience. But that was the year that I realized that I needed to grow up some, because I defended that game like, it's good. It's, you know, at first I was saying, it's good. Why are people hating on it? I was still trying to defend Sonic in general, but like, you know, I I did some growing up that year and realizing how immature I was acting when it came to, you know, talking about Sonic Boom and stuff. So, so that kind of changed me a little bit. But again, at the end of the day, I find Sonic Boom: Rise of Lyric to be a very mediocre game, I guess you could say. And Shattered Crystal, boring. And Super Smash Bros. For Wii U and 3DS, that has Sonic in it, so I'm so I'm putting this in here. It was a good game, just not the best one. But it was good to play Smash Bros. On the go for the first time, like with the 3DS. And again, Sonic is in it, so that's why I included it. 2015 comes and goes because there really wasn't that much related to Sonic that year. I mean, yeah, Sonic Boom was still premiering, and they were still premiering new episodes around that time, and it was kind of slow, though, whenever they were premiering them, because Cartoon Network didn't really give them the best time slots. I think during the summer of that year, they did get, like, premieres during the afternoon or something, I guess because they figured kids were out of school, and, I mean, it was technically a kid's show, so, yeah, that was, Cartoon Network didn't treat Sonic Boom all that well. They haven't treated a lot of their shows all that well, but you know. Yeah, Sonic Boom was still premiering, but in terms of the games, there really wasn't really anything. I mean, maybe updates to the mobile games, which I've completely neglected to talk about. I've never played. Let me go ahead and get this out of the way. I've never really played the original Sonic Jump. I've played some version of it, like Fever, I think it's called, Sonic Jump Fever or whatever. It was okay. I played more of Sonic Dash, which I think that game was alright. I only played a little bit of Sonic Runners. I didn't play it much because you had to be online to play it, and that was stupid. And so it hardly worked because my internet isn't always the best. But I played some mobile Sonic games, and they were fine. But anyway, yeah, Sonic Boom was premiering, and originally they had announced a sequel, or kind of a sequel to Sonic Boom Shattered Crystal, and that was the first time that I was like not looking forward to a Sonic game. Not that I was like really looking forward to the previous Boom games, and it's not because the Boom games are bad, and you know, well, I mean, I didn't like. Okay. It wasn't because of Sonic Boom Rise of Lyric, it was because I didn't really like Sonic Boom Shattered Crystal, and when I saw that they were making a sequel to that one, I was like, oh my gosh, really? So, yeah, that was, I was like, you know what, I'm not really looking forward to this one, because it's just going to be like the other 3DS game, and I didn't like that one, so, you know, so that was... Again, I had grown up a little bit, and I was like, you know, I'm not really looking forward to this. But then I saw that they delayed the game to 2016. I was still kind of, you know, not looking forward to it as much, but I was like, you know what? Sure, that's you know, that's fine. That hopefully they'll improve upon some things. So, but altogether in 2015, there wasn't really much related to Sonic. For at least, well, I mean in general, but like for me it was just like, you know, maybe I played some of the old games and stuff, but other than that, it was just, you know, I made a review that year of for my show, the Dang It Show, and I reviewed I've reviewed a couple of Sonic games on there. I've reviewed Sonic the Fighters earlier that year, and then near the end of that year, I reviewed Shadow the Hedgehog for the 10th anniversary of that game, and it was pretty cool because that Saturday morning, they premiered the final episode of Season 1 of Sonic Boom, which had to do with Shadow, and, well, partially had to do with Shadow, but it was still pretty cool seeing him like that. Now, eventually I wasn't the biggest fan of Sonic Boom Shadow, but it was still cool to see an episode that had him in it, because they hadn't had him in it until around that time. But yeah, 2015, not much in terms of getting new Sonic stuff, except for the cartoon, but you know, that was when I did my reviews and stuff of a couple of Sonic games. So 2015, not much to that year. Now, a certain event happened during, well, not during the filming, but like the day after filming part of the video for my Shadow the Hedgehog review. I've already announced it, so not to go into too much detail, but I was in the emergency room, and later on I found out I had like a kidney stone or two. And so that was fun, waking up and not knowing what was going on, a lot in pain. That was fun. I'm only saying this because it was related to an episode I was filming for Shadow the Hedgehog. But I was still really determined to get that episode done, and like, you know, I still like that game. Again, it's nothing special to me today, but I still like it, and I was trying to give a decent review for it, and not just hate on it like a lot of other people have. So that episode ended up being a two-parter. So that's why, like, you know, one day of filming was done, and then like another time I did some more filming. But yeah, it was like during late September. You know, I woke up with the kidney stones, so that was fun. That was a fun time. 2016 comes. It's the 25th anniversary of Sonic. It's also a lot of like number 5s of anniversaries for other games, or you know, with like 5 in them, and some with 0 in them. But anyway, it was the 25th anniversary of Sonic, and so whenever that comes around, like that, nothing really came around for it until a bit later on. They announced the joke thing, Big Fishing Adventure 3, which some of us took to mean that they were going to tease a Sonic Adventure 3. A lot of people have been asking for that. So, and I was thinking, you know, if they announce this and they don't announce Sonic Adventure 3, it's going to be a slap in the face. It's going to be a big insult. And of course, that ended up happening. Like the anniversary party comes around, and it's a little disastrous at first because audio issues and technical issues here and there. Because Sonic can't get a break with some of the stuff. But yeah, that comes around, and I'm like waiting for the anniversary thing to start. And I'm like, okay, I'm about to hear about this major game they're hyping up, and what's it gonna be? Sonic Mania. A newer 2D Sonic game in the form of the classics, even though we've gotten a million versions of like the classic game, so we're getting a new game that's a remix. It's kind of a remix of old Sonic levels, and some new ones or some that were originally cut out. That actually kind of angered me, like going into that and then seeing that the big major game was going to be this game that looked like it could come out. It looked like a fan project. What it technically was, it just had funding and you had to pay for it. And yeah, that kind of disappointed me whenever I saw that. And like I hear that, and then like at some point I drop out of the anniversary thing. I was a little mad that year or around that time because I was like, "Are you serious? This is all we're getting? This was the hyped game that we were supposed to be getting, when it's just a fan game. It's just some fan game." And you know, I was pretty mad around that time, and I left the stream for a bit, and then I came back into it and saw, and then like they were doing a Q&A thing, and then it really didn't help that when I came back in, they said they have no current plans to do Sonic Adventure 3. And they tried to give us hope by saying, you know, it's not out of the cards, you know, they may consider it, but that's still no confirmation that it was going to happen. And I was just like, nope, this is stupid. But before I went to sleep that night, I eventually saw that they uploaded a video, which they showed during the stream, but like they had one more announcement, and it was for Project Sonic 2017. I was like, oh. And it's coming to this new Nintendo system, the NX, which the Switch was called at the time. And I was like, okay, all right. My hope is a little up again for this. And like, I mean, with Sonic Mania, I didn't even think it looked like a bad game. It's just that it wasn't the big hyped game I was hoping for. Like it looked like, well, I already said what it looked like, but you know, it wasn't the big hyped game, but this new game looked like it had promise. Now later on in 2016, you know, obviously we weren't getting a new major Sonic game that year, but we were still getting Sonic Boom, which I forgot to mention was called Sonic Boom Fire and Ice. And we also got the Sonic Lego set for Lego Dimensions, which I actually had at the time. So that was, you know, that wasn't too bad of a game. So like, we didn't really get much in terms of like games for Sonic that year, but we did get things. Like we did get something, and we got announcements, and obviously, I realized that year I was like, you don't have to have a game for the every 5th anniversary. Every 5 years. You can have announcements for games, and then maybe you can have something else. So I realized that year. It was the same thing with whenever they announced Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy. It was coming out the next year, even though 2016 was Crash's 20th anniversary. So that was interesting to see. But certain events also happened in 2016. But for Sonic, it was a fine year, mostly of announcements, but it wasn't bad. I got Sonic Boom Fire and Ice for 3DS and for Christmas that year, I meant to say, and I played through the game and it was all right. And that's the end of that. I mean, it wasn't really much of a reason for me to go back to it, so I no longer have that game. It was just kind of there. Again, it was a decent experience, not a great one, and that's it. That's all I've got to say about it. It wasn't really much to that one. 2017 comes around, and that was the year that we would eventually get the new Sonic games, like the new major Sonic games. Like one of them for some people, Sonic Mania, and then the announcement of the name of Project Sonic 2017, like February or March or sometime like that, turned out to be Sonic Forces. I was like, okay, that's kind of a cool name for this game. And then, they showed off a gameplay trailer. I was like, okay, it's Boost Formula. I'm not the biggest Boost Formula fan, but this could still be good if they do it right. So they show off about a minute of game. Well, probably like 30 seconds of gameplay. I don't remember exactly how long it was, but I was like, okay, it could be good. People were already starting to be hesitant about it, and I was like, you know what, you guys are always doing this. You're just gonna hate on the new 3D Sonic game, so let's. I'm just gonna ignore that, because there's already people predicting it'll be bad. And I can't remember exactly what all happened in 2017 when it came to Sonic, but it was kind of a big year for games. At least that I was interested in, because. That was also the release of Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy, Super Mario Odyssey, so Sonic Forces and Sonic Mania coming out and stuff. This is really cool. I wasn't buying as many games, as many new games that year as I would in the previous years, but those were the ones I was definitely going to try to get new. So Sonic Mania, when it eventually comes out, I play it and I'm like, you know what? It's fine. I'm having a fun time. This is more of an appetizer for Sonic Forces. Because at the time I was like, you know what? I'm hoping that this new 3D Sonic game comes out and it proves people, it makes people look like fools who doubt it. Who doubt 3D Sonic is Sonic Mania may be good, but this one's going to be even better, hopefully. And I was getting a little more hyped for it. And then it comes out in November, early November, I think. And let's just say this: Sonic Forces is what made me realize Sonic being known as a product. Basically, what I mean by that is, it was the game. Basically, I didn't really like the game all that much. It very much disappointed me. I think I felt the disappointment that most people felt was Sonic 06, because that game was hyped up, and obviously you know what happened there. Not that Sonic Forces is as glitchy, but it's a very straightforward. It feels very roller coastery, even more so than previous Sonic Boost Formula games. And that's the thing me and my brother would refer to it as, the roller coaster physics was what we call the Boost Formula, because it felt more like a roller coaster of you just kind of going forward and occasionally side to side. Sonic Forces was even more so of that. So yeah, that was a major disappointment. Like I don't think I played it. Like I beat it, the main story, the day that I got the game, and then I don't think I even touched it for the next 1 or 2 days. Then I came back to it and tried to play it a little more. And I'm not saying I had a completely bad time. It was just majorly disappointing and majorly underwhelming. So, of course, I knew. I was like, oh, here we go. The people on YouTube are gonna say, "I told you so," even though they didn't actually know how the game was gonna be for sure. And but I did hear a few YouTubers say this. But I just, that was majorly disappointing for me. Because there are some things that are good about Sonic Forces, but overall it's mostly a painfully average game. So yeah, that was not a good time for me when it came to Sonic, at least. And then, like, I want to say about exactly a month later, something happened pretty badly. Like, not to me, but like basically another kind of family thing going on. But I've already described what it was, and I'm not going to go into detail here. But basically, my dog is fine. So, just going to say that had to do with my dog, and you know. But the thing is I couldn't go to the new Sonic game to have comfort. So, yeah, that's the only thing I'm relating this to Sonic. I just wanted to throw that in there. 2018 really wasn't much of Sonic at all that year. I mean, the only thing we really got in terms of games was an announcement for the new Sonic Racing game, kind of like a tease for it, and then a physical release of Sonic Mania with the new DLC. And at first I was gonna get it, and then I was like, nah, I've already got the game. I can just buy the DLC. It's only like $5, so I think it was $5. But anyway. Yeah, that was that year. I was just like, man, my hype for Sonic is low again. Like it was very low. Like I still love playing the older games and stuff, like the adventure games, the Genesis games, some of the games afterwards. But it started not looking like a very good decade for Sonic altogether. Like, you know, maybe this new racing game had hope, but it was just going to be another racing game. Wasn't going to be a major Sonic game. So, you know, obviously we got some updates here and there for the mobile games, but, you know, obviously I don't play those like as much, or don't like those as much as I like the regular Sonic games. So that was 2018 was just like a almost nothing year for Sonic, and I was still getting over the effects of Sonic Forces, and I also got my wisdom teeth out that year, so that was fun. But that has nothing to do with Sonic. I wanted to throw something in here just to have something when talking about 2018. But in terms of Sonic, 2018 was a very nothing year. It was the 20th anniversary of the release of Sonic Adventure in Japan. But that was about it. 2019 comes around, and this was the release of Team Sonic Racing, which was originally supposed to come out in 2018, but it got delayed to 2019. And the problem with that is it came out like a little less than a month before Crash Team Racing Nitro Fuel, which was going to be the major. It dominated, like, in my opinion too, it dominated Team Sonic Racing. So yeah, that was. But I mainly got Team Sonic Racing as an appetizer for Crash Team Racing Nitro Fuel. But anyway. Then we see the trailer for what was originally going to be the Sonic movie, which we'd actually known back in like 2014 that they were making a Sonic movie for 2018. Then it got delayed to 2019, or it's something like that. And like it was originally going to come out in 2018, and then it was going to come out in 2019. And they had a trailer ready, like they wrapped up filming of the movie. And we saw what Sonic looks like, and he was unanimously not good looking. I mean, I think it went above our expectations. We thought it was going to look worse than it did, but when we actually saw the design, it was still bad. It was still kind of a bad design for Sonic. So they eventually made the decision to delay the movie to early 2020. which is what we ended up getting in theaters. And after seeing what Sonic looked like originally, this was a big improvement with the newer design. Well, when it comes to games that year, all we really got, other than some mobile updates, was again, Team Sonic Racing, which this time around it was strictly Sonic, but it was still just a racing game. And it was it wasn't really nothing special. It wasn't bad, but again, it was more of just an appetizer for my hype for Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled. So 2019 was also kind of a nothing year for Sonic, at least when it comes to the games. But when it comes to talking about the movie, that was the major thing. So at least we had that to look forward to. 2020, what a mess of a year, but it had a strong start when it came to Sonic because we had Sonic, the Sonic movie, and that was actually a decent movie. It's considered one of the best video game movies. I mean, like, obviously not everyone sees it that way, and it's not like it was an amazing movie. It's not gonna blow you away, but it was a good movie. Like, it was a decent, it was good for what it was. And so that was pretty much it for Sonic. Again, Sonic mobile game updates here and there, but that was pretty much it. I think there was originally going to be more announcements for Sonic game-related stuff that year, and obviously that didn't really happen. But yeah, that was pretty much it for 2020 and with Sonic. So at least the only thing that we really got, the only major thing we really got was good. It wasn't a game, but it was still good. And that brings us up to this year, as of this recording, 2021, in which we are celebrating the 30th anniversary of Sonic. And, well, there's not really much coming out this year, other than just like the re-release of Sonic Colors, like in the form of Sonic Colors Ultimate, where they're adding a few things. And at this point in time, I don't know for sure if I'll be getting it. I'm sure I'll get it at some point, but I don't know if I'll get it when it first comes out or if it'll be later on. I might want to see how it does. But overall, my feelings for Sonic, they are very mixed, but I still love the franchise overall. Like, I don't play the games as much as I used to. Like, as a kid, I loved playing the games all the time, but given the way the 2010s were for Sonic altogether, it kind of put a sour taste in my mouth for being a Sonic fan. And not that it really should, but it doesn't really affect my feelings for the some of the older games, like from the 2000s and stuff. I got a little tired of seeing constant re-releases of the Genesis games, because that's all we were getting. We weren't even getting really Sonic 3 all that much anymore. We are getting Sonic Origins Collection, which at this point in time, the only thing we know about it is that it'll have Sonic 1 through 3, Sonic and Knuckles, and Sonic CD in it. And like, we also know about this tease for a new Sonic game, which they apparently have said that they announced too early, so we don't even know if it'll actually come out in 2022 or if it's going to come out sometime in 2023. Again, this is 2021. This is like July of 2021 when I'm recording this, so we don't know much info on whatever this new Sonic game is that obviously we're gonna know whenever it comes out. Yeah, my history with Sonic has been very much a roller coastery ride. It was a roller coaster of emotions. I mean, it's definitely had its ups and downs, even for me. Like, a lot of people have said Sonic has had ups and downs, and when it came to the 3D games, it's all bad. But for me, there are some underwhelming 3D Sonic games. There are also a lot of underwhelming 2D Sonic games. But there are also a lot of good 2D and 3D Sonic games. So my history with Sonic has been, well, I just said, it's been a roller coaster of a ride. And I don't know what to expect anymore from the franchise. all I'm going to say is that I'm going to be cautiously optimistic about the future of Sonic. I hope the movie ends up being good. The second movie ends up being good. I hope that the new game ends up being good. I hope that Sonic Origins gets more than what it has, but you know, if that's all it has, as long as it's at a decent price, then that's okay with me. I hope Sonic Colors Ultimate does well. I hope it does well, because you know, the only reason they're re-releasing that is because it was like one of the highest rated 3D Sonic games in a while, which is vaguely 3D. I mean, it's mostly a side scroller with some 3D moments. But anyway, yeah, I'm still very much a Sonic fan, even if I don't play the games as much. In terms of the franchise altogether, I'm still very much a Sonic fan. There's probably some that are more than I am, and then there's a lot that are less than I am. So, happy anniversary, Sonic. I've already said that in another video, but, you know, here's to 30 more years, just depending on how you do things. So, that's pretty much all for this video. It's a bit different, but I hope that you were entertained, and hey, let me know what your history with Sonic, well, some of your history at least, in the comments, because I'm sure that if you gave your complete history, it might be a bit long, unless you just started on Sonic like last year or something. But anyway, thanks for watching this video, probably more so listening, because that's mainly what this is. And like this video if you like it, and subscribe for more videos, whether like this or other videos that I make. And once again, thanks for watching.